Hey, what's up, everybody? Steve Grillo. I'm here in my little studio, Hell's Kitchen. You're watching Grillo's AftershockXL on the AftershockXL network. And I just wanted to do a little show today. I have some people here that are very important in my life. They help me out a lot, sponsor the show, and basically saved me from being in a federal prison. But we're going to get to them in a second. But first, I just want to address all the stuff that's going on right now. It's sort of a big, controversial, stern thing that's happening out there in the world right now. And Stuttering John did his take, and he does a rant, and I'm just going to go on. Not going to be John and rant about everything, but I'm going to go on record as saying that, everybody out there, is just aware of what's going on behind the scenes on the Howard Stern show these days. And, there's a lot of things that people just don't know. I want to go on record as saying I did have a wonderful time working on that show. It was wonderful until I realized that I wasn't getting paid, which I didn't mind. People are saying, well, I could have just left. I was having the time of my life. I didn't really care about whatever. I wasn't getting paid until they told me I had to leave because I wasn't getting paid. I was getting credited school in the very beginning, and I didn't get credit after the first 2 or 3 semesters I was there, and I just felt I was lucky enough to stay. So I kept my mouth shut, and because I was happy enough to be on the best show in the world, and I did it. And I was getting away with it, and I was okay with it. But it wasn't until Tom Chiusano realized that I wasn't getting paid, and that was illegal, and he could have lost his job because of it. That's when I sort of had to not be there anymore because I wasn't getting paid. So when they started paying me, which Howard kind of I guess told Tom, pay him whatever the least amount you can pay him, which is 30 hours a week at 25 an hour, which was the minimum wage at the time. It was, so to me, it was more like an extra $180 in my pocket for whatever it was. And I was suddenly, after that happened, I was forced to stay more than I usually did. I was forced to stay and do these, what they called articles, which was any article on Howard Stern across the country. There must have been about, 6 to, 10 boxes filled with, 100 to 300 articles on Howard that came in maybe every week. It was an endless supply of articles that I had to sit, because now I was told and forced to, if I wanted to keep my job, to stay and work these extra hours and do this menial task of photocopying these articles, which was not an easy task. I know it sounds like it's easy, but it's not. It was grueling, mind-numbing, annoying work, and I was forced to do it because they basically said, now that you're getting paid, you have to stay and do this extra work. So, which means, on top of the fact that I was working from 5 until 12 on the radio show, I was working from 12 to 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They pressured me to stay and do this shit. It wasn't like I was doing writing or producing segments. It was me just handcuffed to a copy machine doing this crappy work. And so basically, it was if you want to keep your job, you got to do this work. And they held it over my head. And to me, that was just fucked up. Slave labor is like what? You get paid for your job, or you don't get paid for your job. And you don't get paid for your job. That's, there's the reason why that shit went on down south. Was I held with a gun to my head? No, but did I love doing what I do in the morning and doing what I do on the radio show? Yeah, I did. I loved it a lot. Did I want to give that up? No. So they knew that, and they took advantage of it. And in the end, when I did that for a year, I became very angry and very resentful, and I would have been able to cope with it if I could have, maybe eke out a little more money and get paid for the hours I'm working, or at least get paid enough for me to be eligible for health insurance. And when I went to Tom Chiusano to ask for that health insurance, it was denied. And I was told I was not going to get paid any more than 30 hours a week. And I was going to get the company standard raise, which was 4.25%, which maybe gave me 75 cents extra an hour, and no health insurance. And I was told that I had to work 30. If I was getting paid for 30, now I had to leave, which meant I had to leave at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, so, you know what? I was leaving in the middle of the show. It just didn't make any sense. And the moment I brought it up to Howard right after that meeting with Tom Chiusano, Howard turned to me and basically just told me, well, that's Tom for you. So at that moment, when Howard didn't stand up for me, that's when I decided to leave. And I just want to clear that up with everybody, so you know. I love John's rant, and he's 100% on what he had to say, and he's right, and I commend him for what he did, and he stood up for everybody, and he's standing up for himself and Scott the engineer, which was horrible. But not for nothing, it's time that people know the truth and what really goes on. And there's more truths than this is just the tip of the iceberg. Tim Sabian's got more truths. He's not going to come out and say anything, but I know for a fact that the people there, they're given enough to live and to be a part of the greatest show in the world, but they're not getting a fair shake over there. They're not having a good time, but if they leave now to get another job and start all over again, it's going to be hard. I can tell you for one thing, like, you think that you have Howard Stern on your resume and you're going to go out there and everything, the world's just going to crack open a door. It's just not. It's not easy. And there's a sort of a black cloud over the whole thing when you say you work for the Howard Stern show. A lot of people did go on and succeed. I'm not saying you can't, but it doesn't crack open doors like the way people think. And I just wanted to come out here and say, there's a New York Post article that went out there, and there's whatever. I just want to keep it from my perspective on what's going on and what happened with me. The thing with Scott the engineer is just absolutely horrible. And I can't believe that happened to him. And with apparently Tim Sabian, when he has to take a leave of absence to go take care of his sick father, they shut him out as well. So they let him go. And I don't like it. Excuse me. And it's not right. People think he's like, America's sweetheart now, Mr. AGT. He's no longer the bad boy. He's Mr. Acceptable. He's Mr. Politically Correct. And there's a lot of things that people don't know about him, and I think it's about time people do. So I don't care. They shut the door on me. I was called a traitor by Ralph on Twitter. And Ralph, I could say a lot of things about you, but I won't. But I will say is, what the traitor was when I needed the Howard Stern show, they shut the door on me. When I needed I kept that ace in my pocket. I left like a gentleman so I could always go back on the Howard Stern show and promote what I needed to promote. When my company Bright Shot was doing well, and I could have used a boost and gone on the show and said, finally, I have something successful going on with me, with my life. And, I could have used a boost and I could have used the help. And I had a door slammed in front of my face and told me, and this is before I said anything stupid on any social media. This was before the Periscope thing that I did and stuff like that. And it got picked up on Radar Online. I was still friendly with them, but I wasn't allowed to go to Howard's birthday party. I wasn't allowed. I wasn't invited to his wedding when he invited Chevy Chase, who he wasn't even really friends with. He dedicated a book to me. I wasn't invited to the wedding, to the birthday. I was told that I'm no longer on the list, and this was for no reason. This was just because they cut me out. They shut the door on me, and you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to say the truth. And you ask, I don't go on my show bragging about bashing Howard, but if someone asks me a question, I'm gonna be honest with them. And the New York Post asked me a question, and I was honest with them too. And it's about time the truth is told. I never wanted to shut that door. I always wanted to keep that door open and use it to my advantage. And I have fun with them, and they're the ones that cut me out. And so if they're gonna cut me out, I don't have that position anymore where I can be a part of that show, then I'm going to tell the truth, and that's all. So that being said, it's not my rant. It's my little 10-minute heads up on what's going on, and that's that.